Yes, Vinita.
Start the class of today. We'll start with a prayer, short prayer. Close your eyes, palms together. Seek a blessing from the God, Goddess in all your woes. If you are done, slowly open your eyes. Okay. Today we are again going to see the continuation of the Mercury. Before that, let's see about the Pocharam. Ragu in the Meena, Ketu in the Kanya, the yearly planets Guru, Mangal in the Rishabha, Guru in the Rishabha, Mangal in the Kadaka, Sani in the Kumbha, Chandra in the Simmarasi, Buddhan in the Vrakshaka, Surya in the Dhanush, Shukra in the Maga. Okay, as I usually said, the people who are having the Simma Lagna at the Simmarasi or the Simmarasi become the 8th house or Simmarasi in the 6th house. This is the very good day for everybody, for all these peoples, which I said, I listed just now. Check your emotions, how your mind was thinking, how you are behaving. Are you exaggerating the things, or you are become very natural, or you're neutral in your emotions? Check your emotions. This is the very best day for you. Okay. From the last week onwards, we are comparing against your Jadagam against your Pochar. You have your birth chart all the time in your hand during the classes. In every upcoming classes from this week onwards, have your birth chart in handy. So, if you are not having your birth chart also, remember your birth chart in your mind. At least which graha, in which degree, and which rasi. This is, you have to be remembered at this point in time. So if you are not having the birth chart handy, at least remember in your mind. Okay. So this is a sample. Imagine a person who was born on the December 22, 2000 at the time of the 11:51. This is the Janana Jatagam for one person. How you are going to compare against the Gochara. So for this person, when what are the planets you have to see? Most of the time, if you are considered the yearly planets, whenever there was a yearly planets moving, that is the point you have to consider that, because you know this is the planet have to be stay there for at least 1.5 years, or if you are Rahu and Ketu, it should be there for at least 1.5 years. Guru should be there in 1 year. So you know that the yearly planets, you once you compare against your Janana Jatakam with the Gocharam for the yearly planets, keep that in mind always. Okay. So, what are the next few grahas you have to keep in mind? The main queen you have to remember is all the time. Remember where is your Chandra. So, for this, the example Jadagam, the Chandra was Kocharam, the Chandra was traveling in the Simmarasi. For our Jana Jadagam, there was no graha in the Simmarasi. Okay. So, consider this person was born on the Mesha Lagna. Okay. So that means the Chandra is moving over the 5th house for this person. Yes or no? So this won't cause that much trouble to this person. So then consider a scenario when the Chandra was moving here. In few days, the Chandra will move into the Tula Rasi. So that time you have to be see when the Chandra over your Chandra, then that time you have to see how the emotion was going on, how the emotional changes was happening. And there was also one more thing. Every two and a half days, your emotion will be changing, knowingly or unknowingly. That's why if you have so much anger in you also, hold it for at least 2.5 days. It will be vanished in the very next day, because that much your emotion will be changed. At least 2.5 days, the emotion will be changed. If you are a person for holding a grudge for very long time, this won't be work out for you. But possibly the 2.5 days holding and don't show your anger for at least 2.5 days will work for the peoples who are born on the Yar Rasi peoples. The peoples who are born on the most Yar Rasi, these people, this will work out very beautifully. They won't hold a grudge very long time. But when the people who born on the, particularly the Vrikshika peoples, they hold a grudge for very long time. This kind of the technique, it may or may not work for them. It depends upon the graha present in it, or what are the practice they are they are doing in their daily life. That was totally different story. But this will work out when 2.5 days your emotion will be changed. If you want to show your anger after the third. That will be entirely different dimension for you as well as for the other person. Yeah. Getting into the Pancham, Tithi is the Saptami followed by the Ashtami, Nakshatra Uttra Palguni, entire night. Karna is the Bhava, Balava and Kavalava. Yoga is the Ashmana and Saubhagya. Okay, this is again the very good yoga for today. Midday Ravivara, Paksha is the Krishna Paksha. Okay, let's move into the staring time. We have 2.5 minutes, and this staring time homework we are going to for 1 more week only. So use it very, very wisely. The time starts now. 2.5 minutes. Five more seconds. Okay then. Okay, let's move into the Mercury. What are the most significance of the Mercury? There are the vast list for only for the Mercury, every graha. So for the Mercury, we mainly see what are the main. I try to list down all the significance of the Mercury, at least as much as we can remember. Who are doing a strategist? There was one Chinese drama. I thought remember the name. I forgot. It was one Chinese drama. It was clearly explained about the Mercury character. If I remember again, I will tell you. This was one of the very, very wonderful drama. Um, it's even a very popular among the Asian countries as well. Forgot that name. Exactly, that was depicting the nature of the Mercury. Particularly the main role who's doing that. He was exact example of the Mercury. I will try to remember that. If I remember, I will message in the WhatsApp as well. The strategist. Most of the economics, they have the beautiful strength of the Mercury in their Jatakam. Economists, the people who are doing the book sales, even if you open a bookstore also, you definitely have the grace of the Mercury. If you are into the book printing, any kind of the book printing, okay, book publishing, accountant, if you are ministers in any government, any of the ministers, state level, center level, that when you're going into the deeper level, there are other grahas have to be involved in it. For the state level, there was one graha, and central level, there was another graha. But you don't need to deeper into it. But in general, if you want to become a minister, if the concerned person is going to be a minister, Mercury have the definite auspicious strength. Writer, lawyer. Why the writer and lawyer? The Mercury have the have a very good potential in writing as well as in the speaking. When when the Jataka was having this very great strength of the Mercury, when they try to speak, you can't able to negate that person. This person has that much wonderful speaking skills. And if they try to speak for long hours also, you feel it is very minutes. That kind of the person when the mercury strength is really high. I had a very wonderful experience when I studied in a college. There was two professors. One was really very intelligent when he was speaking. It was really intelligent when he was teaching it. That is good. But whereas another professor, he will speak like the time will goes like a minute. The time really flies. He won't give any important information, but the entire class is really interesting. I don't know why, but the other professor, he was giving n number of information in the entire class, but the class was really boring. So that's the difference between the mercury strength. You may have the wisdom, but the mercury gives you that kind of the strength, that kind of the speaking ability. When you're speaking with another person, the opposite person will have a very good interest in you when you're speaking. When the Mercury was in a good level, in a good auspicious level, the lawyer will have the very good communication skill. They know how to communicate. They know how to negate other people's in front of them. And mostly all comedy actors have to have the Mercury strength in high potential. Okay, when it comes into the technology, telecommunication, media, telephone related, or IT department, when it comes into the software, Mercury is the plays a prominent role. News media and the press, everything comes under the Mercury. When it comes into the ambassador means when one person was representing ambassador for a nation for any of the product, the Mercury has the plays the biggest. Crime department, inspector, when you're doing handicrafts, the handicrafts is then combination of the other grahas as well. But particularly when the Mercury also have to that kind of the strength if you are performing any kind of the handicrafts. If you are doing the handicraft of business also, the Mercury should be in a good place. Okay, in other words, if you do any kind of the business, Mercury should be in a good place. Postal department, postman. When it comes into the work, the postman also, the Mercury plays a significant. It represents that the postman, the work, the postal department, the entire thing represented by the Mercury itself. IT spy. When it comes into the doctor, ENT is the Mercury significant doctor specialist. Editor, artist, magician. When the peoples are doing for as amateur or they're doing a profession, the Mercury plays the biggest role. When it comes into the body part, forehead, Mercury represents mostly into the face itself. The forehead, the tongue, the throat, neck, skin, nerves, and your hands. When it comes into the relation, maternal uncle, father-in-law, brother-in-law, your family, your aunt, younger sister, lovers. Lovers may be men and women, both friends. Okay, this is the very important quality of the Mercury. That is a two-faced thing. With another words, it may also said as a two-timers. Uh, they they have the kind of the capability. They reflect the both. They looks like they considered there are the three peoples. the two peoples are enemy to each other, and in between the Mercury was placed. Imagine a situation. These people show the two face to both of them. They front to other side also. They front to this side also. They, this kind of the character is the peculiar character for Mercury only. Uh, I already told you they are the very, very good strategist. The cunning in nature, it's inbuilt quality for them. I'm not telling us it's the cunning in a very negative perspective, but cunning in a very strategic perspective. When you are performing any strategy in your mind, the cunningness have to be placed at least 70% of the role in your plan. Without the cunning quality, without the tendency of making a strategy, that without the cunning, the strategy may comes into good form. Doesn't comes into good form, definitely for sure. But the Mercury have the both the quality as it's inbuilt nature. Mostly they are selfish. Selfish is doesn't mean that not going towards the negative scale. They're selfish means they give preference to themselves first, comparatively to other people's. Mostly they're very covered in nature. It comes in their own behavior. Particularly if the Mercury was in the Kendra, these people's fear like anything. They have to be come over with the fear by their strength, and they have to be fight against the fearfulness. It depends upon the individual. But mostly when the Mercury was in the Kendra, the fearfulness comes into them in the childhood itself. They are very lovable, and particularly the love exactly meant for the Mercury in nature. If your Mercury was not in a good position, or Mercury was strengthless, you won't be enter into a love life itself. Okay. Importantly, these people are very attractive, mostly young in nature. There was a two grahas when it was combined together, Chukran and Budan. That means your Venus and the Mercury, when combined together, these people are looks like very young and very attractive in nature. Okay. We'll see in further weeks how we can increase more and more significance of the Mercury. But these are all the important things you have to remember all the time when Mercury comes into your mind. Okay. The Mercury, the Sanskrit name is the Buddha. Mostly it represents your intellect. If when comes in Mercury comes in front of you, the intelligence is in another face. Intelligence is the representation of the Mercury. Your speech, trade, commerce. Okay, one important thing. The people who are doing the commerce related things, commerce business or commerce education, everything comes under Mercury. They are very good analysts. All comes under the domain of the Mercury. When see about the Mercury, Mercury own house is the Mithuna and the Kanya. Mithuna is the air, Kanya is the earth element, and Kanya, the importance of the Kanya Rasi for the Mercury, the exaltation point is 15 degree in the Kanya Rasi, debilitation is the Meena, 15 degree. But here, the Kanya Rasi is the earth element, female in nature, in representation of your body, it's a waist area. The Mithuna is the arms, male in nature. Mithuna and the Kanya are the own house. And the enemy house is only the Karkataka. That is, and the Simha and Vrishaba and the Tula, the sun houses and the Venus houses becomes the friend to the Mercury. And every other houses is the neutral, like Mesha, Vrikshika, Danu, Meena, Kumbha, Makara are the neutral to it. Okay. It owns the Mitra and the Kanya, we already saw that. Mula Trikona also the Kanya Rasi 15 degree to 20 degree. Gender males and male and a female. Sometimes it's a both combination. Aspect is a seventh aspect. Sometimes mostly it's the combination of the both the characters. Direction is the north, directional strength east. Malefic or benefit depends upon the graha it's associated with it. Adhidevata Vishnu, Pratyadi Devata Narayana, elements is the Prithvi, Dosha, all three. Importantly, if these peoples are having any kind of the ailments in their body, all three doshas get affected. if there goes in any other graha, it gets affected, means that particular dosha will be get affected, right? But for the Mercury, if the any body ailments will come, all three doshas will get affected, then the ailment will come manifest in their body. Maturity is 32 years. Dhatu is the skin. Mostly these peoples have kind of a skin disease like leprosy kind of diseases. Grange is the green gram. Okay, if you want to increase the Mercury energy, the one thing is you have to increase the strength of the Vishuddhi. There are the many ways you can increase, but I highly recommend try not to increase the one chakra in your body that will be harm to your entire body. Whenever you increase any of the chakra, it's the strength of any of the chakra in your body, you have to be holistically improve the every chakras. If any chakras means the nadis. When you are trying to purify your nadi, when you are strengthening your nadi, cleansing your nadi, it have to be holistically done, not under one single point. It's not like a body weight lifting. When you are touching the nadis, you should be very much careful because the little bit movement of the here and there of the nadi will be harm your entire body system. So whenever you are working on the nadi levels, you should be practiced properly guided under your uh, qualified gurus. Okay. Marana Karaka is the fourth house, combustion, 0 degree to 14 degree in the forward motion, 0 to 12 degree in the retrograde motion. But mostly, because this is the Mercury, most of the time in everybody's Jataka, it will be close to the sun within the 29 degrees. So it will be move one house nearer or one house after. So there is a high chances the combustion may occur, but most of the people will say if it is within the 0 degree before or after, that's considered as the combustion. Otherwise, because this is the book knowledge 0 to 14 degrees, 0 to 12 degree. But if you see the people who how they are following, most of the astrologers will follow 0 to 5 degree before and after. Okay. Don't believe that whatever I said. Check yourself the number of the Jadagam and you also able to understand uh, even though the software will say it's the combustion, the person not getting affected with any kind of the combustion of the mercury. Then you may able to understand, okay, the 0 to 5 degree may be the high level of the combustion taking effect. Okay. Then I come into the Mercury relationship. Graha is the Mercury. Friends is the, you already saw that, Sun and the Venus. Neutral is the Mars, Jupiter, and the Saturn. Enemy is the Moon. When it comes into the nakshatra, 9th Aslesha, 18th Jeshta, 27th Revati. Within 27 years of the Dasha period. We already saw that first house. First house is a very good place for the Mercury because it becomes a Dikbala for the Mercury. And these people are very intelligent and calm, polite, and very generous in nature. And the second house is again a very good for the Jataka because your second house already represents your liquid as speech and family. And these people enjoy all kind of the luxuries, self-made person, and these people are scholars and the learned peoples. Okay. Here, when the second house Mercury also represents your very good speakers and their love for the computers. Definitely, when they are enter into the computers or the electronic engineering, they excel very well in that. Third house, your ambition, courage, passion, and the communication comes under the third house. These people are very good writers. No one can compare against. Definitely, they have become a successful business person, very highly communicative. They possess some kind of the extraordinary skills, one way or the another. Okay, fourth house. It's about your mother, happiness, your land, property, asset, everything. They're highly individual, possible of the entrepreneurship, good in maths, and their analytical skill is top notch. Definitely, they are the self-made person. When it comes into the Mercury, the first house and the fourth house, they are the self-made person. Their poetic skills is really high when it comes into the fourth house. See the fifth house? creativity, intelligent, and the child amusements, everything comes. Speculations is also comes under the fifth house. They have the very quick ability of thinking. The decision making is also good. It's the Mercury in the fifth house. Their sense of humor is really high. The family loving person. They are very sportive and creative. Some point in life, some people, if the fifth house Mercury will place, women play a major role in their life. Okay, let's come into this today's lesson. Mercury in the sixth house. Okay, anybody remember what is the sixth house represents? Here are three main things.
Rog, Rina, Ripu.
Awesome. Okay, Yoga Renum, yes, you are a disease. For a while, your disease, your debts, and your enemies. Okay, these are the main three important things. Okay, this is the only representing the sixth house. No, there are the various things, but we are giving importance to these three things, and also represents your job. Okay, this is the point where you are trying. This is very important point when this house is self protection to protecting others. The soul was advancing in that level. That means till this time, okay, I'm growing, and this point in time from the sixth house onwards, I'm trying to protect others. I'm trying to give the life to others. So, this is that kind of the sixth house will be. Okay. Possess high stand of knowledge and wisdom. Yes, these people have the very good wisdom. Okay. And this is the very positive point for the sixth house people. Remember, the sixth house is also a Dusthana when the Mercury was placed in it. Imagine we will see one good scenario. Okay. We'll see only the good scenario first. Now we consider there was the Mesha Lagna and Mercury was placed in the sixth house. This is a very good place for the Mercury because Mercury in a own house, Mula Trikona as well. And but the only problem is this is the sixth house for the Jataka. Definitely, they possess the Mercury quality of the knowledge and the wisdom. But their behavior eccentric means they may, because of their knowledge, because of their intelligence, they may not able to adjust with other people. It's really hard for them. The relationship with the peers, it goes in it's not in a good way. Every communication, every step, or every meeting, every discussion will end up in a very great disaster for them. The interpersonal relationship with any peers, not only one single person, any person will end in a disaster only. Because of their intelligence, they feel like, okay, I don't like this kind of an environment because I have a knowledge, I can move forward. They they have the quick impulsive decision will be there. Because why the impulsiveness comes here? They their intelligence and the kind of the knowledge, the kind of the wisdom they gather, it gives the strength, the ability of the thinking, very quick thinking. They find out the good solution. They feel like, okay, these people are not matched with my knowledge and I don't want to be with them and I want to move forward. What is a good solution for me? Okay, just switch the job. They quickly jump into another job. The Jataka is not only hard to adjust with others, the other people's also hard to adjust with them because their knowledge is in a very high level. And if you, okay, let's have a situation. When you go to this kind of the person, the Mercury in the sixth house, and you are going to discuss some point over, or her, and he or she, whoever it is. And he knows that very well. His knowledge is in a very top notch, and you're trying to make your point or your perspective to that person. He immediately negates that, and he tried to prove his knowledge. That's it. The discussion is closed there itself. It's come to an point and not a comma. And the other person, even though he have the good view, good perspective, he didn't say anything. He come back. So this kind of the situation will come when the Mercury in the sixth house. This is the good one also as well as the bad one also. Anybody have the Mercury in the sixth house? Anybody? Okay, consider a situation. I'm going to give you one more situation here. Let's change the lagna. Put down. The Mercury was here. How the person will behave? The same thing. Okay, now consider Venus is here. How the person will behave? Wherever the sixth, okay, remember one thing. Wherever the sixth house, the Mercury motion going to behave the same thing. One maybe the adjustment may be vary from one percentage to the another, but this quality will be remain the same. But imagine a situation when you have the Mercury and the Venus. Here the important thing is Venus was in its own house, Mercury in its friend's house, and from the Lagna it becomes the sixth house. Any idea how it will become? Okay, if that was a tough point for you, I will change the scenario. Venus was in the 12th house. Okay, but the Venus was aspecting the Mercury. Okay, and what I'm trying to say is one or the other way, Venus and the Mercury have the connection. Any idea? No? Can we take it as a homework? Okay, if you didn't say, I consider it as a homework. Okay, then I will give you one more scenario. Venus in the Makara, sorry, Mercury in the Makara Rasi. Oh, why I'm slipping my tongue. The Lagna is the Simha Lagna. This is then a very interesting one. Why I tell you that later. Okay, here when the Lagna was in the Simha Lagna, already the Simha Lagna characters will comes into the person. But interestingly, one definite change will happen when the Mercury was in the Saturn's house. The adjustment, the impulse will be there, but the hard to adjust, right? This will be little bit adjustable. It comes considered a situation when the Mercury was in another house, that in the scale of 1 to 10, really hard when the Mercury was in the different houses. Okay, comes in the 10 in the 10th scale for an adjustment measure. But when it comes into the Mercury in the Saturn house, adjustment can be done if you try. It comes in the scale of 8. That's the one simple change you can mildly can if you see into their behavior, you can see that very, very mildly. Okay. Now consider a situation when the Mercury was in another house of the Kumbha. This is also behaves more or less similar. The adjustment is possible. Possible, not I'm telling fully. Because, okay, now I have to change the level. When the Kanya Lagna, Mercury character, okay, this is a very interesting again. Why? Lagnadipati itself a Mercury. The Mercury was in the sixth house. Okay, this is again a different story altogether. But imagine a situation when the Mercury was in the sixth house, considered as a Saturn's house. The behavior little bit can be changeable. Okay, when compared against the other houses. Okay, now come to a very critical situation. Now, Mercury in the Kadaka Rasi, which is the enemy house, the Lagna is the Kumbha Lagna. How is this character will be exactly applicable? Yes or no?
Yes, I think.
This is exactly applicable because already the Mercury goes in an enemy's house. The the characteristic of the Mercury will be there. Intelligent and the wisdom is high. Already it's an enemy house. The hard to adjust is highly, highly applicable. And go and see the people. If you find you really not able to adjust with the other people's, check with Mercury where it was. Mostly it will be in the sixth house Mercury because these people are hard to adjust. Why? Because of the unmatchable knowledge and the wisdom they possess. They have a very wonderful knowledge. You can't even beat them. Okay, let's moving into the any doubts still here? In the sixth house, ma'am? Sixth house Mercury. Okay. We already saw about the let me see, what are the graphs we finished? Okay, Moon and Mars. Okay, this is the very good point. We can discuss about the two more grahas combination. Okay, what are the now we'll see about Lagna and the sixth house. We'll finish with this two more examples, then we'll move on to the next house. We already saw about Mercury. Sorry, we already saw about the entire houses of the Mars. We already saw the entire all the 1 to 12 houses of the Moon, as well as the Sun. Yes or no? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let's see about here. When we have the Mercury in the sixth house along with the Sun. Okay. Consider it is our homework for you. The next week we are going to discuss the same thing, how this grahas combined and how we are going to see that as a when you definitely one or the other way the grahas is combined together, aspecting and sitting together in the same rasi or aspected by the other grahas. So one or the other way you will have this connection. So how you are going to consider that? So now we have the combination of the Mercury Moon. We have the combination of the Mercury Mars. Okay, this is a very, very good combination. When a Mercury and the Mars was combined in your Jataka, if you see any of the Jataka, check once how was their love life, how many times they love, at least how many times they enter into the love life. If these two questions are really hard to ask to them, then ask them one question. Or you get married in yearly in your life? Are you entered into the love life in your yearly ages? So these two, definitely this will come when the Mercury and the Mars combination was there. But here is the one tricky point will come when the Mercury and the Mars placed in the different houses, different rashis, this will be little bit different. Okay. Now we'll see the Mercury and the Mars. Why I am placing a symbol again. Mercury and the Moon. Okay. Now Mercury and the Moon. How this will behave? The Mercury and the Moon, both are Mercury treats the Moon as an enemy. Moon won't treat Mercury as an enemy. So if this combination, when these two different nature combined together and sitting in one Rasi, how it will going to behave. Consider it as a homework. We'll definitely discuss this on the next week. And this is a very important combination, Mercury and the Sun. The Sun considered the Mercury as the neutral, but Mercury considers the Sun as a very good friend because Mercury admires the Sun. Mercury sees the Sun as his whole role model for him. So Mercury wants to be with the Sun. But the Sun treats the princess as one of the subject for him. Okay. So these two combinations combined together, what you will get. Okay, now we'll see. We already have the what is our first homework? I forgot. Okay, let's see about this considered as a three homeworks. Try to find out when when these three combinations are combined together, what you will think. don't worry about whatever we studied. You make it as a reference. You read n number of the books to make it as a reference. But finally, what he compromised to tell you this? When the Mercury was there, Sun was there. When combined it together and it was placed in this Rasi, this this Jataka will looks like this. Tell me your perspective only. Don't worry about whether it is right or not. And definitely you will find out a very interesting point in every combination.
Yeah, Mercury and Sun will be fine, I think. Mercury and Sun is
All the
combination.
combinations are fine. All the
But
combinations are
Mercury and Mars may not be, because Mars doesn't like Mercury. So it will have hard time. Mercury will have hard time.
without this, the Mercury and the Mars combination was not there. The yearly love life won't be there. The combination is somewhat good. Their enmity will be there, but this combination will gives you the courage. Most of the registered marriage, if you go and check with them, most of the registered marriage, the peoples will be live like this. They register their marriage, but the parents didn't know about it. They live their own life until they get officially married. When you see this kind of the peoples, check their Jatagam. One of the Jatagam will definitely will be in the Mercury and the Mars together. Why? The Mercury is the love. The Mars is the courage. If if there was a love, only love was there. We consider a situation. You have only Mercury, and there is no connection of the Mars. You won't have the courage for the marriage or stepping into the next stage of the marriage itself. When the Mercury was there, and there was no connection for your Mars, you didn't, even though you are into a love life, even though you love one people, two people, three people, you enter into a number of the what enter into a number of love lives, and there are people who are really good and lovable. But if the Mars energy was not touch you, you didn't have an energy, you didn't have a courage to step into your marriage life. So the Mars energy will be there. Without the Mars energy, you can't enter into the you can't transform your love life into a marriage life. Okay. Remember this. You're going to this an exercise in the next week onwards. These combinations have you do on yourself so that you will learn more. When you are practicing with a number of the Jataka, when you play with the Jataka, you will understand, okay, Mercury plus Sun was here, and I know this person who or she will behave like this. See the people, see the Jatagam, and see the Jatagam, you know that people very well. So you can, you don't need to check every of them. You already know about them. So you come into a conclusion, you move on to the next combination. Consider it as this educational point of view. This will be interesting. I will tell you. This will be really interesting. Okay, let's moving into the seventh house. Okay, the seventh house, we already know that. What is the seventh house represents? I forgot. Anybody?
Spouse, partner.
Spouse, partners.
Business partner, any relationship with a boss and a junior,
Hmm.
and
Everything comes under
any kind of sorry
any kind of your partners will comes under the seventh house.
seven.
Mostly, we prominently consider that as the Kalistha. That's why we consider the spouse. But this is the same applicable for every other partners in your life, your business partners, your clients, your job boss, everybody considered here as the seventh. Okay. Now, that is a seventh house. We already know what is a Mercury. The Mercury is the young, intelligent, and humorous, and love, attractive. This kind of the person, very strategist, very economist. He knows business very well, and he have an ability to speak, write. All kind of artistic talent will be holding by this Mercury energy. When you combine it together in the seventh house, okay. These people's are handsome and bright personality. When the Mercury in the seventh house, these people's are very handsome and bright personality. Okay. Here is the one more thing. They are straightforward and honest. That is go against them, that is go backfire them also. even though they are very straightforward, honest. But here is one interesting thing, because this energy was the Mercury energy. This straightforwardness won't harm others. Okay. What are the other straightforwardness harm others? If the Mars energy was there and these people are straightforward, they literally hit the opposite people. But when the Mercury was straightforward, it was like you pinching with a soft nail without a blunt edge. So how it will be? It will touch. It will like some sponge was touching you. That kind of the straightforwardness. And the honesty is also like that. It was like the innocent child is showing its innocent towards the others. The same will be there, but the honesty is in the very pure nature. Most of the time these people want to be truthful to others, and they are also expecting others to be truthful. They have the very good friend circle. If you have the good friend circle, means definitely your Mercury goes in the 7th house, or at least the Mercury in the good place. Why? The friends represented by the Mercury. If you have a good friends in your entire circle in your lifetime, definitely you have to check your Mercury position. The Mercury will be in a very good position. Otherwise, you didn't have a friendship in your life. Okay. These people are highly philosophical. Why? The Mercury is an intelligent, but this is the time the Mercury was in the 7th house. It was like one transformative phase of any Jataka's life. So they are become highly philosophical. Like their intelligence trying to be mature level. It was like you are studying in a LKG and the kindergarten was finished. You are finished with the basic studies, middle school and higher studies, and you finished your graduation, undergraduation, post graduation. Now you are entering into a doctorate. That point in time, how much your wisdom level will be increased. Your academic knowledge will be now explored into a wisdom, right? These people are like that. They have the highly philosophical standards. And importantly, they will have the good family life. This is one very good thing for Mercury when it was in the 1st house, when it was in the 7th house. These people definitely will have the good family life. Even though the Mercury in the first house, if it was not in a good place, they may not have the good family life. But the Mercury in the 7th house, they definitely have the good family life. Anybody having the Mercury in the 7th house? No? Okay, one important thing. The straightforwardness is the Mercury is so soft in nature. That's why the straightforwardness won't kills you. Consider a situation when the Mars was straightforward, it directly peers into your soul. Okay, but Rahu is a double time of the Mars. When the Rahu forwardness hits you, you really will. It really kills you. But the Mercury, it was very straightforward. When they shows the straightforwardness, it was like, okay, just somebody was patting on your shoulder, just like that. Okay, anybody was having Mercury in the 7th house? No one? I also didn't have an example.
My Mercury is in the 5th, but I have a very good friend circle. I don't know. It was not there for the 5th house.
You having the 5th house. 5th house Mercury?
Yeah. But I have, what I was saying is I have a very good friend circle, but that one is in the 5th house. But I mean, it's in the 7th house in your slides.
Oh, okay, don't worry about that. If you have the good friend circle means, then you have the, okay. Which is your Lagna? Your Lagna is
Meena Lagna.
And you have the Mercury in the 5th house, right?
Yeah.
Along with
Sun.
Anybody was expecting the Mercury?
No aspects.
Where the Guru was placed? Your Lagnadipati, where it was
Guru,
placed?
second house. Yeah. Rahu is in 4th.
Rahu is in 4th. Then definitely Ketu was in the
And Kuja Shukra is in Vrishabha.
Moon is in the 3rd house. Okay, so nobody was expecting here, and it was expected by nobody. So there was no graha in your 11th house also.
Nothing in 11th, but 12th is Shani and 8th is Chandra.
Oh, okay, never mind. It was Chanda. Wow, this is interesting.
No, I was just, made a point. That's all. I mean, friends.
Definitely, yeah,
And
that's
I
what
have
it's
leadership. I have leadership quality also. And
obviously
very
you will
good leader.
definitely have. Why?
I don't know. Sun is, I think, well placed.
Your sun was in very well placed because it is in your mood, in your trikona itself. You see that?
Yeah.
And the owner of the 9th house is also seated in a very good place. But along with the Rahu, this will give some kind of disturbance in your leadership may not be that much cakewalk. So definitely have to be use your strategic talent to move forward. How it will be?
Everything is fine because I don't have any obstacles in friendships and leadership. I don't think I have any obstacles.
Because when the Mars and the Rahu was combined together, these people
No,
strength.
Mars and Rahu are not combined. Mars and Venus are combined. Rahu is in the 4th.
Oh, okay. That's why I really thought how it will be. Mars and
Venus.
Venus. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, now it speaks a lot. Okay, this is a very good example. When I say this, this is you will find a very good friend circle in the Mercury in the 7th house. This is the point when the Mercury is. We are seeing the one good scenario. There was no exception here. But when you see here, we have the very good friend circle because the Mercury along with the Sun, that becomes a 5th house for him. His friend circle will be in a along with the 5th house, it becomes your Mula Trikona. And definitely the Shatpala for the Mercury will be in a good. That's why he have a very good circle, friend circle. But interestingly, that's why you have to see the number of the Jataka. When the friendship was
And
not
also the
much.
other point of like straightforward, I do that is straightforward and honest. That also
Your
matches mine.
straightforwardness will comes from a different graha. I will tell you that. Your Mars combined with the Venus, right?
Yeah.
The straightforwardness may be combined, may come from here. Because the 3rd house is your communication. This okay, how when you're speaking the straightforwardness, how the other peoples will reflect.
Some may not like.
Yeah. Okay. For this one, right? The other peoples won't think it is just straightforwardness. They really enjoy that, even though it was embarrassing for them. They feel
Okay.
like it was a soft touch for them, but it was a good straightforwardness. They tell in front of them only. They won't go and take a auto or rickshaw and go and telling one small thing. They will straightforwardly speak the person. But this is the very soft touch. But for you, I can say it will be a definite hit. It will exactly touch the point, and it will tell the person, okay, you are doing wrong means wrong. That's it. But the 7th house Mercury was not like that. It was like it will tell you. It was like an information for the person, for the Jataka feels like it's straightforwardness, but actually the other person feels like it was an information. It's a both difference, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Vanita, your Mercury in 5th house, the last one you said, woman will play a major role in life. Is it positive or negative? Will it have positive effect or negative effect?
this sense was the positive one. Women will play a major role in your life means if the native is the male, it may be your partners. I mean your life partner. It may be your mother, or your aunts, your grandmother, or any relations which especially female. Mercury in the fifth house, it was in a good sense.
It is combined by Venus, Shukra, fifth house.
Okay. Here is an interesting point. See, when the fifth house, if the Mercury and the Venus was combined together, the energy level was entirely different. See, the Venus is the Kalastrakara, the Mercury was like devoted for the education and intelligence kind of stuff. And Mercury was a young one. When these combined together, these people's was the energy level will be entirely different. And this won't play a big role. And most of the thing which they said here, it won't match for them if the Mercury and the Venus combined together in your fifth house. They can able to think quickly because of the intelligence. Where is my cursor?
Sense of humor also is there.
They may have the good sense of humor, family loving person. Okay, here is a twist. The Venus have a tendency to go against the conventional method. To go against, consider a situation. There was a community which is formed, and they have followed some rules, 1 to 10 rules. Imagine a situation. Okay, when the Mercury and the Venus energy peoples go there, and the Venus energy was combined there, the Mercury energy was there. Venus want to go against any kind of the conventional method, and the Mercury have the intelligent. They go against the conventional method with their intelligence without anybody knowing. They have that kind of the capacity, but they looks like very young and they're very attractive because the Venus energy was when combined together. Their attractiveness and lovable nature will come in from its. It becomes an inbuilt quality. When they try to speak, definitely the other peoples will get attracted. The other peoples want to speak with them when these grahas combined together.
What my point is, since the Mercury is in fifth house, combined by Venus, Shukra, is it have any good or bad? Is it generally
It's
good or
good
bad?
only. It's a good only. It's not a bad one. It's a good only.
Okay.
So, see, none of the combination is a bad. See, the thing there was how the energy level was combined. How the energy combined together, where it was present. See, imagine a situation. The Mercury was Mercury energy and the Venus energy wants to sit in a place where the fire element was there. Consider a situation in a place of Mars. How it will become? Because this energy, when the Mercury and the Venus energy going to sit in a fire element place, how it will behave? Then the energy will be totally transformed, right? It will becomes in a different form. Imagine a situation, it goes, the Mercury and Venus going to sit in his own house, like Mithuna and the Kanya. The entire scenario will be different. Because that kind of the airy element of the Mercury and the Venus was sitting in that place, this will become very humorous in nature. But when the same combination graha placed in the Mesha or Vrikshika, the humorous will be there, but they won't be emit all the time. When it's a group of peoples, when the Vrikshika peoples was the Mercury and the Venus combined together in Vrikshika Rasi, they emit their humors in certain number of peoples only. They are like closed in nature. When it's in the Mesha, the humorous nature may come out, may not come out. But when it's in the Mithuna and the Kanya, definitely they exhibit their humorous nature all the time.
Okay, thank you.
That's why I'm telling. This is the what do you say? It is the Mercury when general perspective, when only Mercury was placed in the seventh house. Then you may say, how is it possible if the Mercury was not placed, is combined together, respected by the other grahas and this and that? Don't worry about that. First, understand when the Mercury only was placed when the seventh house, when the Mercury only was placed in the seventh house. It's a one good scenario. Understand that one. Then you combine it together with the other one. Okay, that's why we ask you to do the homework. When the Mars and the Mercury was placed, why I ask you to do that? We already studied about the Mars. We have the hand in the Mercury. You just studied about until the Mars and Mercury in the 7th house only. Because all 12 houses we studied for the Mars. We have studied for the Mercury. We still our study is going on, but you can able to make out of it till the 7th house. If the class was finished in the 7th house, we can able to make it till 7th house. Go for the same thing for the Moon and the Mercury. Go the same thing for the Sun and the Mercury. So from this week onward, we have to combine the planets because already we have the 4 grahas. We mastered all the 12 houses. So when we are moving forward, we can combine the grahas. There is one point will come. There is one question will come. If there was more than 2 grahas was there, how I can do that? That we will do it later. Go slow first. Let's see in the Mercury in the first house. This is a good scenario. Then what are the other points will come? When Mercury was combined with the other grahas, how you are going to see. When it is aspected, how you are going to see. And which Rasi it was placed in it. So when you are combined it together, then you will find a solution. I will quickly finish the 8th house, then when we will close the class. Okay. Okay. The 8th house is the very much a transformation. It's an unguna house of the transformation itself. It represents your hidden treasure, hidden knowledge, hidden enemies, whatever the things with occult science which is in the 8th house itself. The people's is called as the house of mysteries. When you have a chances or opportunity to study the occult science means your 8th house should be should have the good grahas placed in it. If the grahas was not allowed, then occult science won't come into your life itself. And the longevity as well. Mercury in the 8th house. So this is the 8th house. We already know about the Mercury. Mercury is a young, intelligent, and humorous in nature. It all is about the education. Okay, there was one more thing. When the Mercury was placed in a good place, and it ask you to do the same thing twice. Like if you're trying to if you are a student going to study in a school, when the Mercury energy makes you to study the same standard again, you may heard about those people. They studied the 3rd standard 2 times, 5th standard 2 times. Then you ask why? Because my parents are transferred from one location to another. I have no choice. I have to study the same standard again. Then you go ahead and check the Mercury in their chart. The Mercury will be placed in a very good position. It makes you do the things 2 times. Okay. It not only two-faced, it also makes you do the things 2 times. When you see the things which you are performing 2 times, see your Mercury. The people will say, I first try don't work for me, the second try will work for me. Then go and see where the Mercury is. So the Mercury okay, why we need to see? We understand the 2 times it's done by the Mercury. Why I need to see? What is the meaning? Means the Mercury plays in your role now. The Mercury dominates your life now. So if you want to activate, if you want to deactivate, or you want to maintain the Mercury energy, it's up to you. Okay, let's come into 8th house Mercury. Very long life, definitely it will give. 8th house Mercury, very good. Then what is the negative side? It's allergic in nature. The most of the peoples, they will get the skin disease or respiratory problems if the 8th house Mercury was placed. These peoples will be well known to everyone, nationally and internationally, well known to everybody. Okay, this is an important quality. When the 8th house Mercury was placed, Mercury means the young and attractive and charismatic and attractive to the opposite sex. Here is an important point. They are attractive to the opposite sex. Over ambition and drive for the power appears as haughty, greed and avarice qualities. This is mostly possible only when the 8th house Mercury alone was placed. If the graha was any other graha was aspecting or conjunction was happen, this may not happen. This this one point may not occur. Okay. And importantly, when Mercury was alone placed in the 8th house and your Mercury Dasha was happening, this all comes true. Okay. You may think like I won't have the respiratory in all my life. I don't have any kind of the respiratory problems. How come I have now? Then go and see the Dasha period. Your Buddha Dasha or Buddha Buddhi will be going on for you. Okay. They have the tendency, they have an ability to get all kind of the government favors. Okay. These people are having a very good ability to raise finance for their business. If there any entrepreneur who have the Mercury in the 8th house, and if they ask, I'm going for a fundraising, ask them to go. This is the very, and importantly, if they have the Buddha Dasha, if the Dasha Buddhi happening for them, this is the good point where the fundraise will be is in a very great success. Okay, anybody having 8th house Mercury? Okay.
My daughter has Mercury
Your
in
daughter.
8th.
Mercury in 8th house?
Yeah.
Wait a second.
And I think whatever you said about in the beginning, I don't know if if you repeat the classes or whatever, is it because of the 8th house? I'm not sure, but yeah, she did one like a UKG twice because she was not allowed to go to the first standard. But anyway, and then she has the skin allergy, so which is probably because of that, I guess. And then she's attractive, and she's also ambitious, over ambitious sometimes. Government favors, I don't think it has happened, and the last one, I don't think. She may have that ability that she doesn't know yet. Maybe she should try that. The last one.
Okay, there was one interesting quality about the Mercury was when it was happened one time in their life, it won't happen again. For example, if she studied for LKG or kindergarten for twice a time, the same thing won't happen for every other studies in her life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If it is happens one time in a yearly age, that's good. Even the kindergarten studying for 2 times, okay. If it was not happening, it will be happening in the other phases of their life. And for some people, I'm giving as an example as a study. It may be happening in several other phases of ceremonies in their life. For example, if they are doing any kind of the function for that individual, it may happen twice. This was if you very first time if you hear this, you may feel it's a joke. But I saw these people when the Buddha was in a very good place, and they had this ceremony. Okay, in southern India, there are the different ceremonies for an individual. From starts with an ear piercing. For a girl, it comes in a different phases in their life. Different functions will come. For one person I saw, the one time the Mercury was in a very good place, interestingly, and the ear piercing ceremony happened twice for her only. So that kind of the situation will come. Not only a function, it may be a different things happening in their life. For example,
could it be like a broken engagement and another engagement? Something like
no. Broken engagement. No. Same thing happen again. If the broken engagement means that will be a end of one connection between one person, and you are going to start in a different life, right? That's what I'm saying. You are going to do the same thing again. For example, he said his kid was studied the kindergarten one more time. He already finished the kindergarten, and again he goes to do the same thing again. You understand this point?
Yes.
Not doing a different thing. Same thing again.
maybe you fail in class, like in class 9th you fail and you do it again.
No failing, no failing, no failing. Okay. See,
Okay.
you finished your classes. I've considered a situation. I finished fifth standard, and I'm moving into the next school. And the next school says, no, we won't allow a student directly into the sixth standard. And they make me to study the fifth standard. And I already finished in fifth standard. You remember the scenario? The two scenarios were different. I failed and the study was different. I studied and I'm again studying. That is different.
Okay, get it.
You got the
Thank you.
point? I'm doing the same thing, not the
I got it.
different thing. The function which I said also, already the ear piercing ceremony was done, successfully finished, and one more time it was done. The same thing. Same thing happened.
So the engagement with the same person can happen twice. That's what.
Yes.
Probably.
It's not a broken one. If the engagement was happened and maybe it stopped and again have to be happen with the same person, then it is yes.
Or maybe two rituals, one Indian and one Western or something, maybe twice.
No, that scenario was totally different. When the peoples was doing the same ritual for the two different religion perspective, we will see that later. That was in a two different scenario.
Okay, get it.
Yeah. When you break the things, that will give you the two different meaning. When one function, the other rituals was combined, that was totally a different story.
Okay, get it.
But okay, the peoples who are when the Guru was Vagram retrograde was happening, if you're doing a ritual unconventionally against your conventional methods, that will end in a good result. So this is the time when the Guru retrograde was happening in the Gocharam. If you are a conventional family following the authentic following the conventional method all your generation, and this is the point you go ahead and do different religious marriage and different religious type of the marriage. This is good for you. Got the point? And maybe this one will be a little bit complicated, I know. Don't worry about that. We will see that. We will come to that point when you are trying to do the marriage, the same marriage, but with the two different rituals.
Okay. Okay, Vanita. Thank you.
Okay, we'll see from the 9th house from next week onwards. Okay, don't forget the homework. Combination with the Mars, combination with the Moon, combination with the Suns, with the Mercury. See this combination in look into n number of the Jataka, not stop with the one. So you will get different perspective when you combine it together with one graha with another. Okay, this is the good point where we have to start combining the grahas. Okay, why I'm giving this much importance? I will tell you that reason also. The later point in time, if you see the horoscope for any peoples, it only the combination of the two grahas, the combination of the three, the combination of the four, the combination of the five. So sometimes this all combinations will come, and you have when you see this jadagam, you should not get shocked. So you slowly practiced when the two combinations were thoroughly practiced, then the three grahas combination will be cakewalk for you. Okay, well, any doubts till now?
Something you mentioned about fear. Now, Mercury people have some fear.
Okay. They have the fear in nature because the young one, right? The young one will have that kind of the fear in nature, but they have to be come over. It's their own potential. They have to come out of the fear. If the fear was stay in them, it is their individual wish. Because the young one was like it was like when you didn't went into any of the new situations when you are embrace that new situation without any experience. The Mercury is like that only. The Mercury was very young. It didn't have any experience. When you push them into the world and you ask them to get new experience, it will be really scared. And the fear automatically comes into them and it's emerged into them, actually, every cells in your body. It is the individual's ability, individual wish have to become over. And they will come over.
Okay. Thank you, Vinita.
Because how they will come over when the age grows, the Mercury energies also get matured. So they will come over it easily.
Okay.
We'll see you all next week then.
Okay, Vanita. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.